Throughout history, the reliability of Jesus Christ has been one of the most debated topics. In this speech, I will be providing evidence that will hopefully get you to ask questions, do your own research, and come to your own conclusions about who Jesus was. I have done extensive research on Christian apologetics, and I hope that by the end of this speech, you will be persuaded of Christ's reliability. I will be going over 3 separate points in this speech. The first one is that Jesus was a historical figure. Number 2 is that the Gospels are a reliable source of information. And number 3 is that Jesus' life, death, and resurrection point to him being who he claimed to be. And with that being said, we should jump right into point number 1, which is Jesus was a historical figure. Now, we have over 5,200 Greek manuscripts or pieces of manuscripts that all agree to an infinitesimal degree about who Jesus was. Furthermore, the ancient Jewish historian Josephus records some of the earliest known mentionings of Jesus Christ outside of the Bible. Moving on to point number 2, the Gospels are a reliable source of information. Why do you say that, you may ask? This is why. Because the literary style of the Gospels, I think, is very clearly historical narrative. It's not fairy tale like we read in Hansel and Gretel, and it's not epic poem like we read in the Iliad and the Odyssey. It's very clearly historical narrative. It is, on this day at this time, Jesus did this with these people. That is the literary style. Furthermore, every place that is mentioned in the Gospels is archaeologically verifiable, such as Capernaum, Jerusalem, Nazareth, Bethlehem. All those places are archaeologically verifiable. It's not Jesus went to Atlantis. No, that is not archaeologically verifiable. Every place in the Bible is archaeologically verifiable. At least, or not in the Bible, in the Gospels, I meant to say. Sorry. Moving on to, and furthermore, the Gospels were all written by either eyewitnesses or someone who knew eyewitnesses. So, with that being said, moving on to point number 3, Jesus' life, death, and resurrection all point to him being who he claims to be, which is the Son of the living God. Now, whenever Jesus was hung on a cross, suffering an excruciating death, he didn't curse his enemies as many of us would. He said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." That is so profoundly radically different from what any of us would, probably myself included. That is so different from what anybody would do. And furthermore, many scholars agree that the Sermon on the Mount is the most profound ethical teaching ever taught. They agree that it is ethical genius. I mean, to say that if your enemy tells you to walk with him 1 mile, go with him 2, and to bless your enemies, that is so far removed from the culture that Jesus was living in. It is so outstandingly profound. And furthermore, Jesus' historical resurrection from the dead. Whenever he rose from the dead, he appeared to 3 women first. Now, if you were trying to fabricate this story, and you were living back during those times, you would not have Jesus appear first to women, because ancient Israeli society was very sexist. If you want to add credibility, you would have him appear to men, not women. Furthermore, Jesus appeared to over 450 people bodily risen from the dead. Now, every single disciple, excluding John, died as a martyr for something they claim to have seen. Nobody dies for something they know to be a lie. These people died for something they claim to have seen. Furthermore, after Jesus' resurrection, many Jews went from worshiping on the 7th day of the week to the 1st day of the week. Radical change happened after Jesus' resurrection from the dead. Now, that is all I have for you in this speech. All in all, I hope that I have persuaded you of Christ's reliability, but please don't take it all from me. Please go and do the research for yourself. Please come to your own conclusions. Please read the Gospels for yourself. I thank you for your time, and I appreciate every single one of you. Goodbye.